Alrighty guys, welcome back to Fog Wrestling here for a WWE Smackdown review. One of the better Smackdowns I've seen lately, to be fair. I don't watch Smackdown a lot, but Big Match John was on this, so obviously it was going to be pretty good. Speaking of Big Match John, that is how we started the show off with. He came out, Roman Reigns tried to bury him last week with the whole missionary statement, but John Cena comes out and he rectifies that straight away. And he says, if you know anyone in your life who can make missionary entertaining for 2 decades, then keep them around. And that is basically what John Cena's been doing. He's been keeping WWE entertaining for the past 2 decades. He then goes on to cut a promo about not changing. He mentions The Rock, he mentions Austin. He was actually throwing some digs at The Rock, calling him small, too small to handle Dwayne. And then he says that Roman Reigns is basically nobody, and he's using every single gimmick that the WWE throws at him, and that Roman Reigns is simply a guy called Joe. So I pretty much buried him there. He says that he's talking about Reigns making fun of his appearance. He says that the reason Reigns chose not to face him at SummerSlam wasn't because of what John Cena looks like, but it's because of what Cena would make Reigns look like. And then he throws down the mic. You think that's the end. And if that was the end, it would have been a good promo. But out comes broke Baron Corbin with the stained t-shirt, or the stained shirt. And he comes out and he wants a role in Cena's movie. Cena's like, no, but he promotes the Suicide Squad, tries to give Baron Corbin a few bucks. Corbin's no happy. He thinks, you're a movie star, come on John, you can afford more than this. Then John says, you need an attitude adjustment, hits him with the AA, leaves him in the ring. This was a good start to SmackDown, but unfortunately SmackDown got worse from here. Now, there was another John Cena part of the show, which I guess was not bad, but I just think having Cena back's great and all that, but when you see Cena, then the next segment and he's not there, it's the depth and quality is just massive between Cena and everyone else. Anyway, it was Rey Mysterio versus one of the Usos next. Who cares? It was basically a repeat of last week. This time Dominic cheating to help his dad get the win. Dominic is absolute shite. He's just another David Flair. No interest in this guy. I mean, Rey Mysterio probably doesn't have long left in his career. I would rather see him have a singles run, do something meaningful, because at the moment, him just teaming with his son, it's garbage. I mean, they've already won the tag belts. There's no reason to keep them teaming together. Let's just have Dominic turn on him, and then, I don't know, why not put him in, send Dominic to NXT or some shit, but get him away from his dad. Then we had Bianca Belair come out, one of the worst female champions I think I've ever seen. Her run has been terrible. Awful. Comes out, Carmella wants to challenge her. Then Selena Vega comes out, and Selena Vega must look about 3 foot tall. She comes out with some stupid eye makeup on. She issues a challenge to Bianca Belair, who accepts it, and then she gets started getting beat down by Vega and Carmella for the returning Sasha Banks to come back. Banks hasn't been seen since Mania. This return seemed a bit lackluster, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. Then we had Reginald versus Chad Gable. It looks like he had Gable beat, but you know, the big fat man Otis interrupted that, so he couldn't get the win, and then he jumped to the back. So who knows, maybe we're going to get Otis versus Reginald soon. Who fucking cares? What else did we have? I can't really remember. Was it contract signing time? It might have been. So we get the contract. Roman Reigns' entrance comes out. It takes him about 10 minutes. Finn Balor obviously can't cut a promo. He says he goes to sign the contract, but out comes Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin starts beating up Finn Balor. Baron Corbin goes to sign the contract instead of Roman Reigns, and then Cena comes out, beats up Baron Corbin, and then gets the contract and signs a big Cena on it and throws the contract down. This was it was pretty funny. Not gonna lie, it was pretty good. And then he leaves, and Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman do not look impressed. Then we go backstage after the break. Paul Heyman wants this changed. They say it made for good TV, but it's not fair. Cena can't compete because the contract reads Finn Balor. But Pierce and Sonya Deville are basically having none of it. They're saying the contract stands. It's going to be Cena versus Reigns at SummerSlam. It's official. And Pierce and Deville, just going to put it out there, the worst the worst GMs at 40 figures of all time. Not even fucking close. We then get announced that we're having a tag team main event, which we weren't. No one told us, but yeah, it's going to be Vega and Carmella versus Belair and Sasha Banks. Then we get an 8-man tag with a bunch of mid-card jobbers. Apollo Crews ends up losing to Nakamura. So I'm assuming we're going to get King Nakamura versus the United States Champion. Who gives a shit, really, at the end of the day? I mean, who cares about this? Then we got Edge, someone that we do care about. But before he could make it to the ring, Seth Rollins comes out, attacks him from behind, and that is it. We come back for the break, and we don't. Edge is no there. He's been taken to the back. So, I mean, fucking hell. They actually get Edge to show up, but instead of actually doing something cool with the guy, no, we don't get anything. We just get, he gets beat up and then has to get taken to the back. Fucking terrible. Seth Rollins cuts a shite promo. Nobody cares. Main event time. Sasha Banks and Belair. They win their tag team match. Very predictable. Then Bianca gets the bank statement from Sasha Banks. Banks picks up she picked up the win in the match by tapping out Carmella. Then hits the bank statement on Belair. Picks up the belt. Shows it off. Very predictable ending. I mean, it is what it is. I guess if you look at the bright side, we got to see Cena twice on this show. But, I mean, the Cena stuff was pretty good, but apart from that, I mean, it sucks, doesn't it? I mean, if it's not Cena, it sucks. I'll give it a 2. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I mean, I want to say 3, but it just wasn't that good. So 2 out of 10, guys.